the Kieran site and the I Believe podcast. And today we're bringing you another Ned Talk where we're going to give you some updates and then we'll get into some information for you. It is August now, so we've made it. We're almost through summer. Danae, have you melted yet?
I feel like I've melted, but not quite. I
What's
have
your
air conditioning, thank goodness.
What's your high right now?
Honestly, I think this week we got in like the 110s. I'm pretty sure one of the days the kids had no recess because it was too hot. That's
Yeah.
that's where I live.
Oh my gosh, I don't miss that. I do miss the winters there, but I don't miss the hot summers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
really buggy
I
here,
don't
but
have the humidity though, at least not nearly as much as you do. So, I
we
mean, you have
do, we
that in
do.
your favor?
Yes, and I have wavy hair, so y'all can see my frizz right now because it's so humid. It's raining right now that the windows are fogged, and it's not hot, but it's just very stale. But I would take that over the blazing heat any day.
Goodness,
Um,
yeah, I get it. I get it. And don't be fooled. My hair is left over and covered in sweat. I just blow dried it, so we're fine.
yeah, no, we gotta do what we gotta do. All
Yes.
right, so August, we are making it through summer. It is World Cancer Support Month. It is also Children's Eye Health Month, National Eye Exam Month, and National Wellness Month. So we got a lot going on in this month. So I think the biggest thing is everybody make sure you go get a comprehensive dilated eye exam and one for your children as well, because that is, you go to the pediatrician and they do that little eye exam where they cover their eye, but and they tell you they're fine, but is that really fine? What do we really need?
Yes, and it can be really triggering, I think, as a parent of little kids who has this diagnosis. It can get really pretty triggering to just be worried about, any and every little thing that could go wrong with your kid's eyes being something that you need to address. So I like to just cover my bases. We have an annual eye exam every year, and I'm picky, so we go to a hospital children's like ophthalmologist, and that's how we handle eye exams. But we are going to bring Dr. Mrithy Jaya in later this month to talk a little bit more about those eye exams and what's important. So stay tuned for that. Be sure to come with questions and watch out for the social media announcement for when that is going to be happening.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to see that because that's definitely something I've always wondered, like, well, when do I need to start taking them to an eye doctor versus the pediatrician? So I'm excited for that one. So lots going on this month. We just had our Brooklyn 5K and it was great. We had three OMI survivors join, Bob, Ellen, and Samantha, and they all got their survivorship medals. Now, anyone who has ocular melanoma and comes out to a race gets a survivorship medal because whether it's a month or 10 years, you're surviving. So come out to one of our races, get that survivorship medal. You can only get it at a race.
Yeah, and those are some really neat, cool looking medals. And like she said, anyone who's an ocular melanoma patient and survivor at any phase in your journey, please come to one of those races, snag a medal, make sure that you get to meet some other OMIs. And that can be one of the most powerful parts of these races and of any of our in-person events is getting to like talk to other people who kind of walk and talk like you do, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and then also with the Brooklyn race, we had two people from France, one person from Trinidad, as well as people from Texas, North Carolina, and Massachusetts come all the way to Brooklyn, New York. So we want to thank you guys for traveling so far to participate and just really encourage people. If there's not one near you, you can sign up virtually, but you also, there's one in driving distance. We'd love to see you and have you come out in person. Yeah.
No, I love that. And I can't speak to too many people coming from way, way, way out of state for Arizona, but I do know we have our Scottsdale race coming up, and we boast second. I think right now we're the second highest attended race in Scottsdale, Arizona. So if you are in the nearby area, Colorado, Utah, any of the states kind of in the Four Corners, or just somewhere nearby, and you would like to come to Arizona in November when it's nice, Dr. Moser from Honor Health and I are helping to put together the race with the Akira Insight team, and we are so excited. And Dr. Murthy and Jaya, we're planning to beat you guys. We are going to have more attendance than you guys had. I think that they had like, what, 377 people registered? It was insane.
Yeah, and I can attest Scottsdale in November is beautiful,
It's
especially
so
if you
nice.
live, it is, especially if you live in a cold place and you haven't seen the sun in a while. Oh, it's dreams.
Yes, it
Um,
is the best.
I do miss that. Virginia gets very gray in the winter. We don't see a lot of blue sky, and we hit about March where I like miss Arizona so much, just like seeing the sun. So that would be great.
Yeah.
All right, so
when are our
okay.
next races? Like other than Scottsdale, because obviously I live in that area, so I'm gonna talk about Scottsdale. But what's coming up? Maybe the next 4, and we'll add Scottsdale into the mix.
Absolutely. So the next one is Santa Monica in Los Angeles. That one is September 28th. And speaking of beautiful places with gorgeous weather, there you go. That's one of the best places to be. Alexandria, Virginia on October 6th. I will probably be at that one. That is in my neck of the woods. I'm in the DC area, so I can probably be at that one. And then Houston, Texas, November 2nd. November 2nd.
Okay. And then the following day, Scottsdale, Arizona on November 3rd is when we're going to have the Scottsdale 5K. So stay tuned, make sure to get registered, and please, please, please help us with fundraising in your local area, or just run a fundraiser for one of the events if you don't live anywhere nearby and you want to just help us raise money for ocular melanoma research and patient aid.
Yeah, and when you sign up, you can start a team, and then you can invite your friends to be on your team. And even if they don't live close, they can do it virtually. So I believe there's usually some kind of contest for the biggest team and the biggest fundraisers and stuff like that. So we'll keep you posted if those continue. Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
everything on the races.
That makes sense. So I'm going to cover the webinars since I hosted the webinar last month with Dr. Orloff and Dr. Berry. So if you haven't seen some of the videos we've posted all across social media, we've got some really amazing video editing happening, and we are so thrilled that we were able to have them participate in this webinar. So there is footage that you can watch on our YouTube channel. Just subscribe to the channel, A Cure in Sight, and you'll be able to find Dr. Orloff's webinar, and it's titled The Roadmap for Navigating Your Uveal Melanoma Diagnosis. Or navigating your ocular melanoma diagnosis. So we are so incredibly grateful for the doctors and just the people who participate in the webinar. But in addition to that, on the YouTube channel, you can also find this on the podcast. So if you go to the I Believe podcast on any podcasting platform, you're going to see it in one of the most recent episodes that's been published. So stay tuned. The best way to stay in the know is to subscribe to both of those places. And if you're not really sure, you can always subscribe to the newsletter, and we will send out regular updates each month with the releases for the month. So that's another option. Megan, do you want to walk them through how to subscribe to the newsletter if they want to stay in the know?
I don't know. How do you subscribe?
Oh, you don't know. Okay, sorry. So it's super easy. I'll teach you. The first thing you're going to do is go to acureinsight.org. And once you're there, you're actually going to, and actually, can I screen share? Oh, I bet I could try it. Yeah, I'm going to screen share. We're just going to do that. All right.
Okay.
We're going to go to here, ignore Instagram for a hot second. So acureinsight.org. And can you see this, Megan?
I can see your
Hold on. Share this tab now. All right.
There, yes,
There we
now I
go.
can see. Yes.
We are on the correct tab. Now you can see it. All right. So if you look all over the website, you can see the different events flashing by. You can see kind of how to navigate the website down here on the bars. Well, at the very, very top in the right-hand corner, there's a giant button that says Join Our Newsletter. If you click that button, it's going to open a new tab, and then you can join our email list. This just makes sure that you can get all of the information that you need to know about updates to research, our events that we have coming up, easy registration links, as well as easy to listen and watch links for the podcast or the YouTube channel. So that's that.
Yes, and I do write the newsletter, so I can tell you that we do include all the links for the upcoming races. We include a recap of the past races, and then the events that are coming up, like the patient meeting, which we're going to get to in a minute. Anything important is going to be in that newsletter, so you definitely want to get that.
All right. Well, thank you guys for any of you who have already subscribed to the podcast, to the newsletter. Those of you who've left any kind of reviews, anything that helps us to continue to grow and to make sure that we are being found by the right people. We are really better off if you guys help us to share. So please help us be part of that community, be part of the people who are making the effort to share the resources that we are creating here at A Cure in Sight with your ocular melanoma community.
Yeah, and I think one thing that people don't realize is it's not just about getting followers and looking like you have a following. There are certain things we can't do until we hit certain numbers. We need to unlock these levels. So if you could follow us everywhere, not just like it, because on Facebook you can like the page, you can also follow it, follow us, subscribe to YouTube. All of those things help us reach the next level and then help us do more and reach more people. So it really is more important than I think a lot of people realize.
Yeah, and that's something that, we'll just have to keep reiterating. But before we move on to our last couple of little notes, I do want to make sure that we thank our webinar sponsors. So just so that you guys understand, we are sponsored for some of these kinds of resources that we provide you. They are sponsored by people like Castle Biosciences. So we are grateful to have them sponsoring the webinar series that happens at least once a quarter. So Castle Biosciences, huge shout out to you guys for sponsoring the webinar series, and also to Dr. Orloff and Dr. Berry for contributing their valuable resources.
Absolutely. We can't thank them enough. It's huge.
Okay. Do you want to cover the registry?
Yes. So the registry is going to be paused right now. And the reason is because we are revamping it. It's going to be a bigger, better, more improved registry when it comes out. So stay tuned because we will let you know when that happens. And if you've already taken the survey in the past, we invite you to take it again because it's going to be a new survey with a little more in-depth questions. So we're really excited about the new registry. We want you to check it out when it launches. And please don't say, oh, I've already done that. Please, please, please do it again. We would so very much appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly. And I am helping with some of the registry projects, just in terms of helping you guys understand how the new platform works, easy ways to make sure that you can follow along. So stay tuned for those updates and make sure to pay attention when we relaunch in just a few weeks, I believe.
Yeah, and we'll keep you posted when it happens.
Okay, last item of business looks like the patient meeting, right?
Yes, patient meeting in Scottsdale, in beautiful Scottsdale. We keep talking about how beautiful Scottsdale is. We promise it is.
It's not beautiful right now.
No,
It's not beautiful right now, but come
in
October,
October.
it will be pleasant and we'll be in the air conditioning. We have a beautiful hotel, the Scottsdale McDowell, the Marriott McDowell location. And Dr. Mosier and the Honor Health team are helping us put together an incredible lineup of speakers. And if you stay tuned, like we've said in the newsletter, as well as on social media where Megan is sharing updates, then you'll be able to see who our speakers are going to be and just kind of follow along for what the topics are as they evolve. But we're going to be covering medical and non-medical things. So don't worry, you're not just going to be coming to a survivorship seminar where you're only going to hear about medicine and you're only going to hear about research and all of the heavy, hard stuff. We do want to cover that, but we want to also give you an opportunity to just survive and thrive through your diagnosis. So that means meeting new people. That means things like supporting caregivers and supporting each other in our diagnosis, supporting our mental health. So if you head to our registration page, which you can also find if you go to acurensight.org and you go to the tab that says Education and Events, we can actually get you into the registration slot there. It's free to register, and then you just have to get yourself over to the hotel and to the Arizona area. So we would love to have you join us. It would be awesome if we had like 200 patients in attendance. So if you want to come, you want to bring a caregiver, your family, anyone that wants to join and just learn more about what it's like to navigate an ocular melanoma diagnosis, we would love to have you join us.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been to a patient meeting before, and I can tell you there's just a vibe in the room when everybody is connecting and you're meeting people that you've seen on Facebook, you've seen their names, but you've never seen them in person. And there's just something really special about all being together with people who are going through what you're going through and connecting with these people that you've seen across the internet, but you've never seen in person. And it's a really fun time.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, Megan, I can't think of anything else that we wanted to cover. I think we've run through everything here.
Yeah.
That looks good. All right. So like we said, stay tuned for next time. We're going to be live again later this month. We're going to bring Dr. Mrithyanjaya on, and we're going to talk a little more about the importance of eye exams. So this is going to be a great video to share. If you want to help us to share and get the word out around the eye exam awareness, this would be a great way for you to share that. We're going to have Dr. Mrithyanjaya come answer questions, but also he's going to talk a little about the importance of eye exams and what goes into a good, solid eye exam. So the other things you can stay tuned for are the releases we have each week on the podcast. So make sure to check those out. And like we said, hit subscribe, follow us everywhere on all of the social media platforms. It does help us out and make sure that we can get in front of the right people.
Yep, absolutely. And thank you so much for tuning in. Just being here and watching our live helped us a ton.
Yes, exactly. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks, Megan.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Danae. It was good chatting, and we appreciate all of you watching so much.